What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash, USD, and we're going to go over the BTC pair today at the request of Mr. Hat. Tony P, you also wanted to know what my predictions are for October. I think you said October of 2025. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Let me double check that. Yeah, October 2025. Because you said if BTC is projected to be around 500K, which that's off the video that I said Bitcoin 500K price prediction at a maximum. You're wondering what the price of BCH will be. So let's actually start off with that, right? Let's start off with that kind of idea. Then we'll get into the USD price. But BCHBTC right here, looking at this for what it is. I've done this analysis a few times, so I'm going to go through it. I'm going to breeze through it pretty quickly. But if we look at this real quick, from this relative low to that relative high there, found support on your 1618. You're being constructive on the way up. You hit the 786, came back down to your 1272. You're definitely showing respect on this. Found support on your 1414 after finding support on the 1618. You're being constructive. Now you're finding support on the 1272. I think you are going to work your way up. Inevitably seeing a reversal off of this extension phase and going up like this, being bullish on this when you close above the 618 at 1.35% of a Bitcoin. When you close above that on a weekly basis, that would scream for a extension potentially off of this area, right? And that's at like 1.3 again percent. And that could take you, the minimum extension for this would be 5% to 10.5% per Bitcoin, okay? For the cycle high for Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. So this would again kind of assuming that Bitcoin Cash finds its high around the same time that Bitcoin finds its high, then this would stand true. If not, if Bitcoin Cash finds its high before Bitcoin, then maybe these numbers are a little bit exaggerated. If it finds its high after Bitcoin, maybe they're a bit conservative. So assuming Bitcoin Cash and BTC find their highs around the same time, if we assume, as you said, Tony P, that BCH could top off, or sorry, that BTC could top off at 500K, 5% of 500K is $25,000. 10.5% of 500K is a little over $50,000. And that to me, bouncing off the 1618, right? Because from this low to this high, that's a bounce off the 1618. Seeing a move up to the 1618 after bouncing off of 1618, it's a pretty common thing to do. But that for this chart, that's a bit of a stretch, but these are the possible targets. They're laid out. Okay, and again, 10.5% would be just over 50K, right? If we go to BCHUSD, what other targets do we have that could be just over 50K? If we take the all-time high, all-time low fib, and we look at the extensions, just over 50K is the 1618 extension up there. Now that would be insane, you guys. That would be insane. That would imply that even with the recent pump, that Bitcoin Cash could still promote greater than a 100x from its current price. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I personally don't. But it's possible. There's a couple things that line up with that possibility. In a storybook, it's written. It's a very beautiful story. I do accept it as a possibility. Absolutely. Some people, man, they've got their eyes a lot lower. They're not even looking at this, man. It's like I don't know. And I'm not trying to hate on anybody here. Okay, I love everybody, but there's people who, they talk about like their goal is to make $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, guys. If that's your goal, you could make it, you could not make it, right? But like that's your goal. In my opinion, that's way too low. Set your goals, set your potentials, your possibilities, put them in the sky, man. If you're gonna have a dream, if you're gonna have a goal, why not aim as high as you can? Right? You're the aimer. You're the archer, right? Aiming for your target. Where do you want to aim it? You want to aim it at $1 million? Okay, cool. You want to aim it at $10 million? $100 million? Why not $1 billion? And I don't just mean like think, oh, I want $1 billion, so that's going to happen. No, like think, how can you do it? How can you do it? You know what I mean? Like you're not, if you're not looking for it, it's probably not going to come to you. If you're not looking for the opportunities to get you to where you want to be, it's not going to come to you, right? Like that's just, and it can, but it's not likely to come to you. So anybody looking for a $2,000 high, a $4,000 high, an $8,000 high, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but that could limit you, especially if you're thinking about taking profits in these zones. That could limit you to a whole lot more. Again, I've said this a few times in a bunch of different videos, not a bunch of, like a few different videos, but the difference between a person who makes 20x in a market versus 100x in a market cycle can literally be where they sold. They might hold the exact same asset. The person that makes a 20x might have even bought it at a better price. But I've had friends, man, whenever I last cycle, I hit a 20x with Dogecoin, hit a 40x, hit a 50x, almost hit a 100x with Dogecoin. At one point, I didn't sell it. The highest I had was 97x, and I didn't hit it. But whenever I saw those numbers like going up, I had friends tell me, like, whenever I hit a 10x, one of my buddies was like, dude, you should sell there. Like, I would sell here. And I literally looked him in the face. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. You were telling me to sell whenever it was at a 5x. And like, that's the difference, man. That's really the difference, is you're not going to make a 100x if you can't hold through a 5x, if you can't hold through a 10x, if you can't hold through a 20x. You're not going to make that. So just the same kind of idea being announced here. What are your goals? And just because your goal is Bitcoin Cash to $100,000 doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, be realistic with yourself, but don't limit yourself. The whole reason I'm talking about this is don't limit yourself to, like, this is as high as it can go. It can't go any higher than that. Like, I personally don't think that this is going to happen this cycle. I don't. But I do 100% accept it as a possibility, and that's the difference. That's what I'm trying to say is the difference. Some people don't even accept this as a possibility, and it's crazy. I know it's crazy. Absolutely, it's crazy. But it's 100% possible. In this cycle, it is 100% possible. Just to put that out there. Okay, I know I just went on a whole like giant bullish rampage, but I hope that answers your question, Tony P. But let's look at the BCH-BTC pair for what it is right now too. Looking at it on the monthly, 382 resistance there. Yeah, whatever, it's okay. Looking good still, in my opinion, man. Yeah, you broke above your weekly. You're coming back below it. I would like to see this week come up and close above the screen line. That would be really nice. I'd really like to see, for once in its history, to see sustained prices above the 123 moving average on the weekly moving average. I would really love to see that. So come up a little bit. How much would you have to gain against Bitcoin? You'd have to gain over the week, for the rest of the week, about 6%, 6 to 7%. Close up there, man. Stay above there. We've done it before where we close multiple weeks. We even closed like 4 weeks up here. I would like to close like over a month's worth of price action above here. I'd like to start getting some separation and start moving up higher. That's what I'd like. We have our higher low. Let's get a higher high. That's what I want to see. Until then, could we move lower? Sure. I don't think we'll move too much lower. In fact, I don't think we'll move lower than that low. I really don't. I think that this was the low. I think that's our next low. I think we're going to move higher inevitably. But just for more immediate growth in BCH versus BTC, I'd like to see us close above that 123. Looking at the weekly RSI, I keep going back and forth, man. We could stand to go a little bit lower. It is possible. It really is. Looking at the RSI, we could technically go below this low, even though I'm not looking for that. That's not what I'm expecting. We could go down to like 0.005, 0.5%, 0.55% of a Bitcoin, and then move up. It is possible. The RSI gives for that, allows that. The daily RSI also has some room for the downside, but you did tip your 123 moving average here, something that you've shown respect on before. Tipped it here on the resistance aspect, held it, and then you broke through it there, tipped it. You definitely seem to show some respect on it, so maybe we do hold it. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Looking at the 4-hour, 3-hour, not a whole lot to go off of. Let's look at the relative fibs real quick, and then we'll move on to the USD price. 618 hit. Hey, man, that could have been your low. It really could have been. But if not, again, the lowest I'd give it is like 0.5%, like 0.005 or 0.0053 somewhere. Sorry, 0.0055 or 0.0053 is where I think you'd go. So a little bit above 0.5%. But that's that. Let's talk about BCHUSD now and get this thing done with. Big drop yesterday. Big drop, decent recovery. We're at 411 now. You guys remember, and I just said this in the Grayscale Trust video, but I was talking about how Sometimes we move up and we give it all back. Sometimes we break out here, right? We broke out, we had a 26% week right there, and then we literally came all the way back down, and then we bounced. You know, Bitcoin Cash is volatile. It's very, very volatile. You finally broke out, and then you moved back down to the bottom, and then you moved sideways, and then you moved up. Could we be moving sideways for a few weeks and then continue to move up higher? Sure. Could we get some kind of masterful reversal this week and actually continue going higher? Maybe we close this week green and then we continue next week up to those $660 price targets that I was calling for. Sure. I don't think we're going to go below this low. We could, but I don't think we're going to. It's hard to say, but let's see how the week closes out. If we get any 4 hours to close below there, that does not mean that it's going lower, but that would give us kind of a setup potentially for some bullish divergence. I would like to see us get above this kind of diagonal line here. I'd like to see us at this rate, you know, get above like 450 in the next day, like 450, 445, get above there. If it takes like 3 days to get up here, then maybe like 430, 435, something like that. I'd like to see us get above there, but definitely get above this line on a 4-hour basis, on a daily basis. And that would convince me that we are moving up higher, that was just a minor little setback, a little what they call a shakeout in the space, right? I very much do believe that. Look at that, man. Look at you. You tipped that 382, man. You literally tipped it. You closed at your 236. That's a really bullish look, you guys. That's absolutely a bullish look. So I would like to see us continue up higher. I would like to not see us close below this 236. But even if we do close below it, that's okay. I don't want to see us close below the 382. In fact, I don't want to see us get anywhere near that low again. But even if we do, you know, maybe then we pull back to $300, something like that. That would come in line with these higher lows. But I think BCH is fine, guys. I personally do think it's fine. You know, I think Bitcoin is going to work its way down. I do think it's going to work its way down over the next month and a half. But it could, you know, I don't think it's going to happen immediately. And oftentimes, in those phases where Bitcoin's kind of moving up and down, it's like consolidating, it's going back and forth before it really finally starts to drop. That's when we see altcoins run. So Bitcoin Cash could move up higher, and then it could have a dramatic pullback over the next like month and a half. But like in the short term, it might move up more. I'm looking for that 660 area or higher. Some people are calling for $1,000, $1,600 higher than that. Maybe we do. I'd love to see it. I think $600 to $800. That's where I firmly stand as our like momentary high. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's all I got for you guys, man. I got nothing else to say. I hope it all makes sense. I hope that answers any questions you have. And if you liked the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to see more. I really, really do like this bounce off the 382, man. It's a very nice look. It really is. But yeah, hit that like button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully it prevails. Hopefully it keeps going up. Let's get a green day. Let's finish this week in the green, and or at least above the 236. That'd be nice. Even if it's red, at least above the 236, and then yeah, we could talk about higher prices. So take care. Bye bye. See you next time.